In studio right now is a board member for the new Hartford Central School District, Linda Lark. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So you're running for re-election.
That's correct.
And you are part of a special election, right? So your term was shortened, or did you have a full term?
Somebody resigned.
Right.
They appointed somebody to sit on the board until the next election, and then I was elected.
Okay, so tell us, and we're having several candidates in over the course of the next day and a half, and tell us why people should vote for you.
People should vote for me, first and foremost, because I'm a parent of 2 children in the district. I will have children in the new Hartford School District until the year 2030. So I'm very invested.
You can say that and still have a smile on your face.
Well, my children are adorable.
Yes. So remember what comes next is enjoy this while you can, because college tuition comes after that. So
I hear about that a lot.
Yeah. So New Hartford obviously is a school district that, first of all, it's just gone through a lot of controversy. Can you talk to that just a little bit?
Sure. We have had issues with tax certiorari's where we had to refund large amounts of money to businesses due to errors in the amount that they were paying in taxes. And that hit our budget really hard, and it impacted what we, could pay our teachers and how we were going to arrange our budget for the coming year. So we've lobbied really hard to get more money from Albany, and our foundation aid has gone up, so that's the amount of aid that we're going to get every year here on out. But we're working within our budget now. We don't have any gaps now. We've brought back all the teachers that we thought we might have to lay off, so we're working through it together as a team. There
were 3, right? 3 teachers that were facing a layoff, and they've all been informed that their jobs are secure.
They're all coming back.
Yeah. Tell me about class sizes. Is that because I know that this has been an issue?
Yes.
With teachers.
Yes.
But within their contract, class sizes can go up to what?
30.
30.
Much higher than we have.
Right.
Yes.
I always say that whenever people agree to something and you say, well, we're going to agree to this, it'll never go to that. You should be quite careful when you do that, because it could go to that. And it is one of the issues, I think, right now, that class size is going up around 23, 24 students in some cases.
Well, we have a lot of different classes. Remember, we have 3 elementary schools, and then we need to balance class sizes between the 3 buildings. So there is variation in the sizes of classes. With being able to keep our teachers on that we thought we were going to lay off, we should be able to keep the class sizes down. I know my son is in a class of 17, which is wonderful. And of course, as a parent, I want to keep class sizes down.
Sure.
Now, is that something that the district wouldn't prefer, is to have a class like a 17, 18? Would they rather have it be at 23 and 24? Because I've heard in some cases that adjustments have had to been made because of the fact that the class sizes were sitting at around 17, 18 in some of the levels.
It's quality versus the cost. The more classes there are, the more it costs, and can we afford it? If we can afford it, definitely. We should have smaller class sizes. I think all of the education research points towards small class sizes benefiting students.
Is there a class size that is too small?
In my opinion?
Yeah, I know there are opinions.
As a parent, if my children could have their own personal teacher,
one teacher,
I think that would be great.
Because there are studies that say that there is a sweet spot. So as the class gets smaller, and there's a specialist out there that's done a whole study on this, that as you get up to 28, 29, and reach over 30, it has a real negative effect.
Yes.
But as you get smaller, it becomes more difficult for some students, depending on personality, because a group setting, they feel more comfortable. But the smaller the class gets,
the more pressure,
on the individual
that's
students.
Absolutely correct.
It's kind of an interesting theory, and I guess it's just a theory, right? Everything's just a theory.
Well, I think that you're correct. That it's research.
Although I guess if
we
you
are
could have
trying to build social skills. School isn't just about math and English and things like that. So you are correct. We don't have any classes that are too small.
Yeah, you don't have any just two kids in that class. There's only two.
I think right now we're registering for kindergarten for next year.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the schools' kindergarten registration was 12 per two classes, right. But that's probably going to go up. We constantly have students moving in and moving out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always a moving target. So it's really hard to control class sizes. It's really not up to us so much as what families decide to do.
Yeah. Obviously, the elephant in the room, and my wife is a teacher in the district.
Yes.
I was pretty on to the topic of the teacher contract and Bob Knoll and all of that stuff over a couple of months ago.
Did you take an opinion on that?
I did seem to have a little opinion in there. So I do want to ask you, though, you weren't on the board to accelerate the contract with Bob Knoll. He had 2 years left on his contract. And am I correct with that? You were not on the board
not on the board
to vote on that. Had that been brought up and you were on the board, how would you have voted? To hold off on the contract or to extend his contract 2 years prior to its expiration?
I'm not sure. There's a lot that happens on the board in executive session when we don't have the public, where we talk to each other and we get information about what's going on.
Yeah.
And it really would depend on why they chose to go that route. I imagine there was some sort of reason. We are a very thoughtful board. We spend a lot of time talking. Some of our meetings have gone 4 hours long recently with trying to figure out what to do with the budget. So I don't want to criticize their choice because honestly, I don't know what factors they were considering.
All right, I think that's the best answer you could come up with. That was a very good answer. How can I criticize that answer? You weren't there, and there's probably information that you aren't privy to. So
yeah, there's a lot that happens that doesn't. Yeah. We don't argue with each other in public, but that doesn't mean that we don't argue with each other.
We do all our arguing here in public. That is what we do here.
Yep.
All right. Anything else? Any other questions, Andrew? You seem to be good.
Yep.
Anything you want to add to tell voters as they'll be coming out tomorrow to vote?
I think voters should know that I'm the incumbent, that I have 2 children in the district, that I'm an attorney, that I practice in juvenile and municipal law, that I've always been involved in advocacy for children, and that I will do the best that I can for the long-term health of our district.
One thing you could do that wouldn't necessarily be just for New Hartford, but everybody, I wish that we do a really good job of getting together with the BOCES, local, whether it's Herkimer County, Oneida, Madison, and we coordinate vacations. Yes. So when spring break comes, all the schools are off. But when it comes to school board voting,
yes,
every district has it differently. Every district has a different time. It's all on the same date, but the times are all different.
I know.
Wouldn't it be nice if there was something uniform? And I realize that probably has to come from the state, but or do we all get together and say we're going to all do it at the same time as to avoid confusion, which sometimes prevents people from voting?
Well, I know that our polls are open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., and I will be in front of the school ready to speak to any voters.
Okay.
All day.
It's a long day.
All day. I would like...
It's going to rain tomorrow, too, they say. So.
I will be out in the rain.
All right.
Anyone that wants to speak with me, I will be there.
So 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. in New Hartford. I know Utica is noon until 9. Every district is different.
Every district is different.
Uniform times would be a big plus for everybody.
Especially if it were shorter.
Especially if it were shorter. I get that. All right. Well, thank you, Linda Lark. We appreciate your time.